Awesome. So how much money do you need to start selling on Amazon FBA? This is going to be the most efficient and educational guide that you're going to come across. So if you like efficiency, hit that thumbs up below and let's get started. So it's going to cost money to start on Amazon FBA. Everybody knows that. But the only reason we're investing this money, and you have to see this as an investment, is because our goal is going to be $10,000 a month of revenue, which is going to be between $3,000 and $5,000 a month of profit every single month. So before we go through these fees, I wanted you to make sure you have that in the back of your mind, because that's why we're investing this money. This is an investment and not really an expense, and it's a good way to flip those words in your mind. So I've also got two options for you. Now, one is the Pro. You're going to sit back. It's going to be pretty easy. It's going to be pretty straightforward. And you're going to outsource a lot of this work, and you're going to pay for the premium stuff, and you're going to have a lot easier time. However, the Hustler, if you have less money, you need to spend more time, because instead of outsourcing these things, you need to work on them. You need to learn these things. And this is how I started as the Hustler. But these days I sort of launch things as the Pro, because it's a lot easier and you actually make a lot more money if you've got more money, obviously, to invest, and you have higher quality things along the way, which we'll get into. So, number one, you need to find a product. And Jungle Scout is one of the best ways to find a product. And at the moment, Jungle Scout is $179. It's normally about $200 and something, but we have a discount in the description of this video for the Jungle Scout app, which lets you see what product you want to sell on Amazon. It gives you very accurate data. The Hustler, however, if you are not wanting to go for this Jungle Scout outlay and you don't have that $179, you can use something like Unicorn Smasher, which is free but not as good. Then once you've got a product, we need a seller account. We need to sell on Amazon. So the Pro is going to pay $39 a month to be able to sell on Amazon. And the Hustler will understand, and actually the Pro should do this as well. You can get that refunded up until the time that you start selling. So a lot of people create a seller account, then they go and source their products and everything. And by the time they get them all in, it's been 2 months, and they pay between $39 and $100 to have that seller account open. But what happens is, if you reach out to Amazon, they'll refund all that money until the point that you actually start selling. So that should actually be a zero over here as well, if you know what you're doing. A logo. You need a logo. You can go get it done on Fiverr for about $20, or you could design it yourself, or get a friend to design it, go into Microsoft Word, just have a very simple text logo for $0. But for me, I like to make sure my brands are really looking amazing. I do my own logos and graphic design, and I learned that skill, so it's free. But I would pay up to $500 for logos and graphics for a brand these days, because it is really important. A barcode. Obviously, you need a barcode. Now, the Pro, you can use Speedy barcodes and pay $5, and obviously the Hustler, you can do the same thing. You can also get official GS1 barcodes. We have a video for that. I'll link it up in the description if you need to know the difference between those two. And if you do need a GS1 barcode, or you can just use a $5 barcode. Product samples. Now, if you're the Pro, you want to make sure that your product is good. You want to contact your supplier, get them to send samples ahead of time, and ensure that it's the perfect product before you invest the bulk of your money into the actual product. It's going to cost you about $80, probably $50 in shipping, and then a $30 sample fee to get it speedily delivered to your house. If you're a Hustler, you can get the supplier to make your product for you, video it, and show you in their hands for it. They'll do that for you for free without having to send it to you, if you're really tight on cash. If you're not, remember, I don't recommend the Hustler. This is just for people who have absolutely no money. There are free alternatives. I really recommend going the Pro. I really recommend it, understanding that business is going to be set up to making us $3,000 to $5,000 every single month in 6 months. If we do these things correctly, and if we follow, I have a free training of the exact steps you have to follow in the description if you want to know the exact steps. If you follow that step by step, and you spend the money and you invest in yourself, you're going to have an incredible return on your money. However, if you don't have that money, I understand, because I didn't when I started, there are free alternatives. That's what the Hustler column over here is for. Product photos. Now, you can get them done for $200 to $500. By professionals. A lot of people actually know how to take quite professional photos, and a lot of the work is done in Photoshop afterwards, which is where you can hire graphic designers or people on Fiverr, or you can actually, I'll put a link in a form below we actually do post editing for people's listings to take them from like an 8 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 to really beat their competitors. It's about $200 for that. The Hustler, once again, you can learn these skills. You can learn graphic design. You can learn how to take a photo on your phone, make it look really good with the right free apps. Inspection. Now, this is an inspection. So once you get your product made, you can get a third party in there to inspect it for you for about $100, depending on how many units you've got. If you've got a low amount of units, it'll be about $100 to go inspect that. Could range upwards to $300 depending on the complexity of your product, but for a beginner product, it should be around $100. The Hustler, once again, can have their supplier send them videos of the stock and inspecting one of the 2 units. It's going to be a lot riskier, which is why I do recommend the inspection. But remember, I didn't get an inspection when I started. I sent them actually to my house first, and I inspected them myself. So there are free alternatives for all these things. The product. Now, for the pro, I want you to spend about $1,500 minimum on your product, because the more units you get, the more easy this process becomes. The more you can stay in stock, the more you can push your product, you can market your product, you can have discounts on your product and get that momentum behind it, then put the price slowly back up and really get those sales in. It's going to cost about $1,500 as a minimum. However, for myself, I paid $500 for my product, my first product. And if you are a hustler, I recommend doing $500 to $1,000 into your product, because you want a really cheap product price. So my product was about 80 cents for my first product. And I just bought about 750 of them, and the Hustler can do that. And of course, you have to pay shipping as well. And this is why you want a small product as a starter, because it's going to be cheaper to ship. So for this $500 will be for air shipping. If you're a hustler, you'll get it sea shipped. And yes, it'll take about 30 days longer. But if you don't have the money, you don't have the choice. So just wait that extra 30 days and save you $300 and put it towards your marketing, where I recommend putting $200 towards marketing, $500 towards marketing if you are a pro. Invest in yourself, invest in your product, because remember, we're going towards $10,000 a month. It's simple if you follow the right process. And the total's here. You can probably work it out really quick in your head. About just over 3 Gs if you're a pro. If you want a relaxed, easy, simple, professional road to take, it's going to cost you about $3,000. And if you have any more than that, once again, this is the minimum that I recommend. This is not like, oh, you should put $3,000 aside. If you have $10,000, $12,000 aside, you're going to have a really, really good time with Amazon FBA. It's going to be very simple, very straightforward. And you're going to be able to have everything perfect along the way. If you're the hustler, like I was for my first product, you're not going to be able to do that. But you may have $2,000 saved up, and you may want to invest that in this and then slowly start to grow and really put your time and effort in there, which is where it's going to replace your money, unlike the pro. And it's going to cost you a little bit over $1,000. I personally got started with $1,000 exactly. And it turned out really well, but I don't recommend it to everybody, because I did have a very good marketing background. If you don't have a very good marketing background, go with about $1,500. Go and save that money up if you're looking to get into Amazon FBA. A good way to save that and learn the process is called retail arbitrage, which is where you go to a retail store and you buy some products and you go and sell that on Amazon. You learn the Amazon process and you start to make money without having to invest in your own brand and own product yet. Then, of course, you want to scale. So if you do have money, I recommend going between $3,000 and $10,000 in your first product. If you don't have money, of course, spend that time, learn those skills, and crush it. So I hope this is helpful for you. Once again, we have a free training in the description for anybody who wants the step-by-step process of exactly how to become successful, because most sellers actually fail. And I don't like seeing people fail. So make sure you do have either a free resource or a paid resource that's going to help you get to $10,000 a month as quickly as possible. I hope that was efficient enough for you, and I hope you learned exactly the process, the 10 steps, or the 10 costs, I guess, for starting and launching an Amazon FBA brand. Make sure you do subscribe below, give this video a like, and check out our next video on this screen.